someone can be seen crawling out of a dark spot. This person looks up saying that the weather is pretty nice while lighting a cigarette. The main character, sporting a scar on his face, hears someone asking where he popped out from. A blonde dude is crawling on the ground, asking if he is leaving, completely unaware of what he has done. Breathing heavily, he mentions that another guy is coming to take him out. Our main guy stays quiet while the other one insists that there is still time to say sorry. In a serious tone, the protagonist fires a shot, saying that the guy on the ground is way too loud. Out of nowhere, a tiny puppy barks next to him, grabbing his attention. The chubby pup rolls around on the ground looking extremely cute. With a grin, the older dude asks if his little buddy missed him. Looking down, he wonders if the puppy is hungry, and suggests grabbing a bite, revealing his name is Kim Gun. As he walks away, it's revealed his code name is Battle Devil, the top assassin. He strolls past a street where a kid asks if he can skip school, and the mom says no, promising a treat if he behaves. Our main guy watches the scene and thinks about getting a snack for his little buddy. Suddenly a spam message about Miriam pops up on his phone, making him think it could be a new mission. A bit later, the sun shines down on a regular convenience store. He squats down asking what his pup wants to eat and deciding to buy everything in sight. Out of nowhere, someone next to him says that they need a second. Confused, our main guy wonders what this mumbling is about. The dude talks about work and Kim asks if he is grumbling or talking to him. Then the standing guy confirms that he is, catching Kim's attention. The assassin with hair in his eyes says that it is a perfect time to take him out just as planned. Soon after, he waves goodbye to number one, who can only curse in frustration after that. Suddenly a shot rings out while our main guy thinks that this world is wild for dreaming. He remarks that it was a pointless death, but then admits that he got taken out in the end, yet he will still get revenge on that fool in hell. Drifting into darkness, he wonders what will happen to his puppy. When he opens his eyes, he sees his cute doggo. Suddenly a shiny bald head of some random dude pops up. Our beloved hitman jumps up, headbutting the strange figure that just appeared. With his hands on his head and totally confused, our main guy asks if he just kicked the bucket since he is sure he got shot in the head. Worried about his puppy, he feels relieved to see it right by his side. Suddenly the monk stands up saying that he finally woke up after a long time. With a hand on his nose, the bald dude claims that the savior has finally answered his call. Looking around, our main guy notices a bunch of other people shouting that they believe in him. Completely baffled, he freezes, questioning all this noise. Then someone steps in front of him, saying that it is a pleasure to meet the savior. This same person introduces himself as the first elder of the Day Dok of the Blood Fraternity. Our main guy stares at him, questioning the savior stuff, since he has no clue what is going on or how this works. But the bald dude just says that they have a mission. The young man must conquer the Miriam world. The gunslinger looks totally lost about this conquering thing, and so he wonders where he even is after all. Soon after, Kim realizes that this is not the world he knows. In fact, it is a place called Miriam in another dimension that he is supposed to conquer. Apparently he was summoned, but it still feels super weird. He stays quiet, watching all those people staring at him with big smiles. Soon those smiles fade when our hero says that they are all nuts. Desperately grabbing his phone, he wonders why he was picked, and realizes there is no signal here. Standing up defiantly, the assassin asks to be sent back before he starts dropping some serious words, but is shot down with the reply that he is already doing that. Then he insists that he needs to find the guy who took him out and must go back, confusing the elder, who thinks that the man is not his savior. Our main guy says that he is not, and the elder seems to have lost it, telling him to go back home. Suddenly laughter fills the air. Someone comments that they are proud of the protagonist's attitude, saying that this is how a true savior should act. Looking back, he sees someone coming up, claiming that in fact the elder is not bald, but has just never had hair. Everyone gasps at the newcomer's savage burn. The elder says that he should not have talked to him like that. Soon the new character rolls up in front of the protagonist, saying that he should not be so insensitive and needs to get his head straight. If he is not careful, he might end up biting the dust without even knowing it. Thus the leader of the blood cult, Safu-kyung, makes his grand entrance. The hitman grins confidently, claiming that it is the old dude who is messing up since they are the ones who summoned him. Standing tall, he warns the elder to watch his mouth because one slip could mean death at the hands of the number one assassin. The elder rushes in, begging the savior not to mess with the cult leader. But surprisingly, the guy with the tied hair says that it is all good and that he will handle this. Then he throws down a challenge. If Kim wins, he gets to be the cult leader and can do whatever he wants. The elder tries to drop some wisdom, saying that this is a terrible idea, but gets cut off by the gray-haired man. The hitman insists that he is not looking for that. he just wants to go home. Then out of nowhere a heavy pressure makes him shut up. With wide eyes he is totally lost on where it is coming from. Soon he realizes the danger when he sees the elder ready to unleash hell if he loses. He thinks that he has never felt such fear of death, even as an assassin, but tries to chill since the guy in front of him is just an old man. Called the ghost of the fight, he claims that he fears nothing. When asked if he is ready, the protagonist shoots back that he does not need to prepare for an old dude. The guy in front of him smirks, saying that they will see how cocky he is, and Kim fires back, saying that this is not a battle of words, giving him the chance for the first hit. In the distance the elder nods, saying that he will not back down. Then he vanishes in a blink, like a whisper in the wind. Quickly the protagonist's face goes pale as he realizes what is about to happen. Before him the old man appears like a bullet, ready to throw a punch. That fist, heavy as a wrecking ball, comes flying at him. Soon the impact slams Kim against the wall. Upon crashing he wrecks the place, which cracks under the force of the blow. A massive explosion goes off, showing just how strong the old man is. Freaked out and dazed, the protagonist can only spit blood. Feeling the sting of the hit, the cult leader strolls over, saying that he cannot even dodge the simplest attacks. Then he questions if Kim is really his savior. Calling him pathetic, he says that he is not even worth killing until something catches his eye. It is the protagonist's puppy trying to bite the aggressor's leg. Panicking, the protagonist yells for his dog to run, since it is dangerous, trying to warn them not to touch his pet, or they will regret it. But looking to the side, he sees his buddy and family flying, crashing into the wall. With a shrill scream, he sees his family sprawled on the ground. The gray-haired man orders them to toss the protagonist into the underground prison and feed the animal to the wolves, which the bald man executes. With a roar of rage, the hitman declares that it is not just a pet, but his family. He warns that if they touch his puppy, the man will definitely meet his end. The man turns, questioning if he really thinks he is that strong. Our protagonist stands tall and asks who he thinks is the strongest in the world. The bald man, just annoyed, replies that he is only provoking his master. The elder leader of the sect looks at the provocator, his attention snagged by something strange. The bald man does not get it, but the leader acknowledges that it is an unusual object. Our protagonist then declares that whoever has a weapon is the strongest. A shot rings out, and the gunpowder's glow fills the air. Both watch the projectile fly. The gray-haired man with a goatee wonders what the point of that object is. Suddenly, his head gets pierced by the shot. The elder, known as Bald Eagle, questions what just happened, shocked to see the leader bleeding. The leader's body drops to the ground, creating a shockwave. Freaked out, they cannot wrap their heads around what just went down. Confused, the man with the goatee tries to call the leader, but soon screams furiously, ordering everyone to attack since they cannot let the assassins slip away. With battle cries they all charge toward the protagonist. He however says that they can all come at once. After all, he still has one more weapon in his arsenal. Sounds of gunfire boom like thunder, and the bullets fly toward the attackers. He remarks that they all messed with the wrong person. A massacre erupts, with Kim Gun in full action. The casualties jump from dozens to hundreds. The shots are fired with precision, always hitting the head. The bald elder hears cries for help, as the others try to take him down. We then flash back to the past where a man tries to warn that they have already lost and apologizes. Our main character starts questioning everything he believes. Without waiting for a reply, he warns that it is all about grace with a side of chill. A punch lands on the man, who drops like a sack of potatoes. The strong hand prepares to throw another hit. Our main character, rocking short hair, says that revenge is on the menu too. He feels disappointed because they went down way too fast. Out of nowhere someone shouts at the young man, asking if he thinks he is the strongest now that he is all alone. He points out that there is always someone who cannot be taken down. But our main character finds it all super silly, asking if the man even knows him, or is just playing the fool. He wonders if the man really wants to find out who is the strongest. Then a sound as loud as a firecracker makes him jump. He looks down, feeling a sharp pain hit him. The man in front says that no matter how strong he thinks he is, he will never win a fight with just his fists. Kneeling, our main character asks why the man is doing this, with a smirk, adding that he should have talked instead of shooting his leg. The man, grinning, claims he is just being dramatic since the shot was a light one. Our main character curses under his breath. The man says that it is wild how life can change with just a flick of a finger. Our main character, sweating from the pain, asks what the man wants from him. With a red glare and a sly grin, the bald man says that he wants his help and will make him the strongest man ever. The sun glints off the barrel of our main character's hitman. The bald elder looks up as a bullet zips through his arm. The protagonist asks if he really understands who is the strongest here. Desperate, the bald man promises to give him anything, just to spare his life. Time ticks by, and the elder asks how comfortable the seat is. With a daring look, our main character grips the hitman, now the cult leader. His little dog has leveled up to vice leader. A bullet whizzes past the ear of the grinning bald man, and he feels the heat from the wound. Annoyed, the hitman asks if he has lost it, just wanting to go home, realizing he needs to deal with the one who shot him. He thinks this might be impossible. The elder says he has no clue how to go back since there is no way. Our main character, pretending to be cheerful, sings that he really doesn't know, and should have said so earlier. He points the hitman at the bald man's temple, threatening to send him to the old leader's lap in hell. The old man kneels, begging for a few more days to fix things, fear written all over his face. Irritated, our main character pinches his nose and tells the elder to scram. The bald man bolts, terrified, while our main character wonders if he should just end him. Soon he plops down and chills, questioning the whole situation since his phone is not working. Suddenly his phone buzzes. He opens it, shocked, thinking it was broken. He spots a weird message from someone offering a chance to conquer the Muram world. He recognizes it as the same message he got before dying, which he thought was total spam. As he reads, irritation bubbles up. He starts typing saying he doesn't understand why he cannot respond, and just wants out of this mess. The message dares him to survive in Muram in another dimension. He replies that Kim must complete a mission, which only annoys him more, wondering what it is about. The message explains that conquering Muram is key to escaping. If he does not finish the mission in a year, he will lose something precious, his adorable little dog. Our main character squeezes his head in frustration, while the message adds that the dog cannot die because it is too cute, wishing him good luck before wrapping up. Stunned and stressed, he screams in despair and anger throughout the cult hall. Then Kim opens a door and asks if the bald man is around. He hears him say that he is a stinky one who doesn't respect the elders, claiming that if he had known he would have sent him back already. Suddenly our main character's shadow looms, and he asks if the elder is traveling, making him scream in panic. In tears, the bald man tries to explain that he was talking about his son and that the bag was to figure out how to send him back. He begs not to be killed, rambling about the perks of keeping the old man alive. Our main character tries to say that this is not what he came to talk about, but the bald man's fear cuts him off. Irritated, he tells the elder to shut it and listen, to which he apologizes, scared for his life. The protagonist clears his throat and says that he is totally down to do what he mentioned earlier. The bald man is confused by what the protagonist just said, thinking that they are about to take over the Muram world completely. But the bald eagle, face glowing with joy, says that it is what he expected from his epic savior and leader, promising to get the squad ready ASAP. Our protagonist throws in a condition for that. A bit later, the old elder calls everyone to listen up, announcing that he will share the leader's orders, saying they are no longer the sacred blood sect, but now the sect of rocking, the symbol of the cutest vibes ever. The disciples start to celebrate, though it feels kind of forced, at the name of the new sect. One of them wonders how he can escape this, thinking it is all dumb, but then he spots the puppy and instantly changes his mind, realizing he has to love it unconditionally for its pure adorableness. One man, out of nowhere, asks the little one to marry him. Meanwhile, they learn that the leader of the demonic cult has switched up and even changed his name. An old man checks out the view while hearing that the sect is now called the Manga cult. He, the head of the Gunman sect, figures a new era is on the horizon. Curious, he asks about the new leader, and they say that he is using some wild demonic arts. The old man, intrigued, asks if that is legit, and the other man says it is just rumors, but everyone who saw it claims that every move he makes leads to someone biting the dust. In shock, the elder asks about the strange art, and learns that it is all about a snap of the fingers. Apparently, the new cult leader just flicks his middle finger. Confused, the old man asks if that is really it, but the kneeling man can only guess. Somewhere in the Mangu clan, someone yells that this news makes zero sense. After all, the protagonist took down the last leader and is already the new face of leadership, without the elder's thumbs up. Quickly, the second elder jumps in, saying that the strongest person gets to be the leader. The redhead shouts that he's not cool with this whole savior thing, but the oldest warns him to watch his mouth since he's the current leader of the cult. Another guy slams his fist on the table and expresses his disappointment, impressing everyone around him. This chubby dude boldly claims he made huge sacrifices for the cult. Humiliated, he says he gave up sleep, food and fun and still wasn't consulted. The most sensible one says if he's got complaints, he better prove himself by showing his strength. But he needs to remember that the new leader took down the last one, and if he's not careful, he might end up 6 feet under. The redhead turns to the door and everyone follows him. Sensing someone coming, it's the first elder who announces that this is the new leader of the cult. The three quickly stand up to show respect for the new authority. Suddenly, the fourth elder spots something near our protagonist, the adorable little puppy tagging along. Bending down, he wonders how that tiny creature can be so cute, asking how the young man found such an adorable buddy. With a creepy grin, he says he'll take good care of it, but our protagonist cuts him off and says he's got some nerve. Punching the elder in the face, he asks where he gets the nerve. The fourth elder hits the ground hurt, but our protagonist couldn't care less. With a clenched fist, he says they called him there, and all they do is clown him. As punishment, he orders the elder to keep his mouth shut in his presence, and asks if he got that. Then he questions why the elder isn't responding, and the fat man tries to speak but gets shut down. The first elder, sweating bullets, says they're about to kick off the council meeting so the cult leader can casually start all this. Soon our protagonist asks for everyone's attention, and says they're about to start the conquest of the Murim, but the redhead freaks out when he hears that if they don't hit their goal in a year, they'll have to take their own lives. Curiously, our protagonist notices that now no one wants to die. Then they start throwing out quick ideas to conquer the Murim in a year. Someone raises their hand, calling out to the cult leader, ready to say it's impossible to conquer in such a short time. But our protagonist cuts him off, and says he sounds like some kind of tea, totally confusing him. Kim quickly explains that he was about to say it was impossible, and for that he must be considered an idiot with a capital T. Confused, the elder wonders what this T even means. Suddenly the musclehead slams his fist on the table, furious, saying he's had enough. Shouting, he says that the more he hears, the more it sounds like total madness. He explains that he's making decisions without the cult's say-so, which is just not cool. He calls out the protagonist, saying that even though he took down the old leader, they can't just accept this. If they want to recognize him, they'll have to throw down for the leader spot. Irritated, the other responds that this is ridiculous, since everyone was summoned to conquer the Murim, and he'll show the elder what happens when you mess around. Our protagonist claims he trusts his words but realizes the dude in front of him has a weird ability, just like the former leader. In the end, he doesn't have many bullets, so he'll need to use them wisely. With his head down, our protagonist reloads his hitman, confusing the elder who thinks he's bowing out of fear. With a confident grin, the redhead says Kim must have pulled some trick to beat the last leader and says that won't work on him. Confidently, the redhead strides toward Kim while the first elder tries to warn his buddy not to do anything dumb. The redhead taunts our protagonist, asking if he's scared to face him. The elder, our protagonist, and even the little dog are all shocked by the bold move. Continuing the roast, he questions why he's being ignored, and says the boy seems hesitant to fight. Our protagonist declares that this ends here and decides to take him down hard. But as he pulls the trigger, something wild happens. His hitman turns into his phone. He opens the device and reads something that totally grabs his attention. With a sinister smile, the man asks why he's not being attacked, acting like he's the villain in a movie. But our protagonist stands tall, questioning if he really wants to face him. With slow, confident steps, Kim shows he's not backing down. Soon he agrees to the fight, but with a special condition that our protagonist thought of to teach him a lesson. He says his position is on the line, so it'll be fun to have a special duel. The red-haired elder looks scared as the protagonist's killer vibe totally intimidates him. Elsewhere at night, people are buzzing about the duel between the elder and the leader. One of them thinks the new cult master is reckless, yet still loses to the first bald elder. Most believe that Dongwang is in position 5 because of his strength. But there's more to it. His greatest strength is flipping a situation where he's about to get wrecked into one where the enemy can't move from exhaustion. In the flashback, a disciple tries to attack him with everything he's got, but the elder just stands there thinking it's all too weak. Tenacity is the name of his technique, which lets him take even a tiger's attack. That's why he's known as the mobile fortress. Suddenly someone jumps into the convo saying these juniors know nothing, saying the cult leader is truly terrifying, and he saw it firsthand. It was a chill morning with no clouds in the sky when the chaos hit. Suddenly, with a boom of thunder, the cult leader went down. That's when the real fight kicked off. As soon as our protagonist moved, a thunderous massacre unfolded. The chubby one was frozen, watching his buddies get taken out without mercy. Even though his opponent was just a weak old man, the dude didn't hesitate to finish him. At that moment, a perfect nickname popped into the fat guy's mind: the true demon of horror. The two who heard the nickname thought it was a savage burn, but suddenly they announced that the leader and the fifth elder were already on the scene. A true battle of the century was about to go down. The mobile fortress against the demon of horror. Promptly the redhead clasped his hands and asked if the protagonist was ready because he was going to beat him senseless. Kim found that ridiculous, but it was expected. Everyone was ready to throw shade, at least until the first shot was fired. A disciple stated that the duel would be under the conditions set by the leader, a simple punch. The rules were clear, the opponents would take turns throwing punches, and the last one standing would win. It's important to note that the winner would decide whether the loser gets to live. Soon they decided who would start, but the redhead questioned if they had forgotten his title, reminding them that he was the mobile fortress. He wouldn't regret taking the first hit. Our protagonist thought the dude in front of him was totally off his rocker, but then he figured, why not seize the moment? He warned that his main target was going to be his chest. The elder grinned, all smug, saying the other would regret saying that. In a flash, all the muscles in his abs tightened up, bracing his chest. Fully pumped, he yelled for the protagonist to come at him with everything he had. But out of nowhere, a shot rang out, hitting the fifth elder right in the thigh, totally catching him off guard. The referee and the opponent went pale, shocked by the audacity of that dirty move. The tension was thick, and silence fell as blood poured from the redhead's leg. Our protagonist, confused, asked what everyone was staring at. The disciples thought it was just a loud bang, probably nothing to hurt the elder, but the wall came crashing down, as he felt pain like never before. Everyone went quiet, listening to the guy on the ground complain that the protagonist said he'd aim for his chest. Annoyed, he accused him of pulling a fast one with such a cheap shot. Our dude with the gun looked down from above all high and mighty, and smirked as he said that he had totally lied about where he would aim, which made the buff dude even angrier. In his head the elder felt embarrassed in front of the cult members, and knew he had to get up to save face. He sighed hard and reminded himself to chill. After all, it was his turn and he still had one good leg. His veins bulged as he said that the protagonist better get ready because his next punch was going to pack a punch. The redhead said that this strike was called the attack of a tiger, so he named it the tiger's fist in tribute. But before he could land that hit, another shot rang out, hitting his other leg. Once again everyone was in shock witnessing such a wild scene. Our protagonist, all chill, asked why they looked so horrified. The referee tried to explain that in this kind of duel they had to wait their turn, but Kim cut him off. He asked who made that rule, and if it was in the Constitution or something. If it was, he said he wanted the article and paragraph to back it up. The bald eagle elder thought that even a demon would be scared of such a twisted personality. In his mind the redhead knew he had to stand up, but he could not feel his legs while he heard the protagonist drop a saying from his world. He said that people could survive a tiger's attack if they kept their wits, but he added that it was not true. He said that all someone really needed to survive against a tiger was a weapon. Soon the elder tried to beg for mercy, and tried to justify his survival, but Kim had already made up his mind. Then a sound like a gunshot echoed, and the redhead shut his eyes waiting for the end. When he opened them he saw Kim walking away as he said that the elder was worth more alive than dead. In silence the man watched this scene of unexpected kindness, and his heart swelled with an incredible feeling. He scratched his nose and realized that this was the start of a weird friendship, but he also felt freaked out since his bullets were gone, and he almost bit the dust. Suddenly a notification sound perked him up. He checked his phone and saw that he completed his mission to take down the fifth elder without killing him. But then he remembered something important and asked Deduk if there were only 4 elders. The answer came back that there were 5 in total, and the third one was Jin. Next we saw a real bloodbath with a single woman taking out several men. She got the scoop on everything that went down while she was gone. Wiping her face with a towel she said that she was all alone trying to revive her cult. Still this new guy managed to take down the old leader and the fifth elder, which got her hyped to meet him. Everyone geared up and got ready to bounce. Jin Huaren, the third elder, said that she was pumped to meet the new leader of the cult. A few days later in the morning, the protagonist wondered why his dog was so grumpy. With his eyes wide open he saw the cheerful face of the fifth elder wishing him good morning. Startled, Kim responded with a straight-up punch to the redhead's face as he said that his ugly mug scared him. Then he explained that his fist moved on reflex, and the elder said that he was on guard to make sure no one interrupted him. He said that if anyone dared to mess with the protagonist, he would go full savage. But Kim told the elder to bounce, since he felt threatened, which bummed out the redhead. Soon the leader asked why the bald dude was even here, and the answer came back that he got called. A bit later, with the sun blazing overhead, the gunslinger kicked off the meeting and demanded to know why he was the chosen one, and why they should take over Murim. Right on cue the second elder jumped in to explain. He said that the Orthodox sects decided that the blood cult was a major issue since they were not vibing with their values or cultivation techniques. The problem spread and the Orthodox sects decided to attack, not caring about kids or the elderly. Because they were outnumbered, the blood cult got wrecked by both the Orthodox and non-Orthodox sects. The protagonist asked if they did not belong to either group, and the elder said that they did not. He said that they stuck to their beliefs and stayed neutral until the attack. Now he said that they wanted to unite the chaotic world of Murim under the protagonist's command so everyone could chill in the peace he could bring. The elder tried to say that pulling this off in a year was impossible, but the gunslinger cut him off as he said that he did not care about peace among the cults, since he was not some Disney hero. He griped that no country had pulled off something this wild and asked again why he was the savior. The first elder, all tense, admitted that he did not know who summoned him. This confused the boy more. He learned that everything went down during the Murim Alliance attack. On that day chaos rained down on the cult. The first elder tried to shout that he was just a simple servant, but the guy intimidating him pointed out that he was clearly important, thanks to his flashy outfit. The man about to take him out did not notice a third figure creeping up. As the presence got closer, the guy got confused and asked where the newcomer popped up from, but one swift move from the unknown was enough to shut him up. The bald elder screamed in terror when he saw that with a single hit that dude twisted the attacker's head. In a desperate attempt to survive, the elder tried to play it cool. He said that he was sick and did not have much time left, but he jumped when a weird scroll got tossed his way. The unknown figure said that at the right moment the savior who would unite all of Murim would show up and that the elder needed to be ready for him. With the scroll in hand, the elder could only throw out questions. The shadowy figure quickly turned and said that once he read it everything would make sense. The protagonist realized that this dude was a total mystery, but the elder spotted something striking. He said that the guy was as bald as he was. The protagonist heard this and said that bald people must have a secret handshake or something. So this man was the one who brought him to this world, but his goals were still a total question mark. Suddenly an injured disciple stumbled in and said that he had a problem that needed to be seen ASAP. When they arrived, the gunslinger wondered what was going on. The scene before him showed all the cult members brutally dead. The one responsible apologized for the unexpected mess with the new cult leader. He explained that he acted this way because they were not allowed to enter. This dude was Gaum Gopong, leader of the Phantom Sword sect. The protagonist asked what was up with the chaos. He said that if it was just a misunderstanding there would not be so many bodies around. With his sword in hand, the man explained that he was waiting for the perfect moment to take down the blood cult. He said that when he found out the former leader got taken out by an outsider, he could not hold back. Now he said that they had a reason to hunt these losers down as prey. Annoyed by the chat, the protagonist said that they wanted to claim an empty house. With a big grin, the vein-filled man said that the young one was clever, but he asked what he would do now that he knew their plans. Kim shot back, saying that if he were clever he would already know what was coming. Someone behind the giant spoke up. He said that there was no reason for the leader to take charge. He said that the former leader was gone and that this axe giant would handle the boy. The protagonist freaked out when he saw the size of the weapon and asked if he was really planning to chop off his head with that. Determined, the giant said that it was obvious and that he would do it quick so the leader did not suffer. Kim watched him approach and thought that the giant was actually pretty fast. Suddenly something caught the gunslinger's eye. He was no longer holding his weapon. Defenseless, he saw the monstrous figure about to end him. But then a weird sound rang out and the giant jumped back, startled as ketchup flew everywhere. The person defending the gunslinger said that it was pure audacity to attack their boss right in front of them. The hefty elder claimed that the giant would not even leave a mark with that swing. Then the redhead chimed in. He said that going after the leader of the Mongu clan and treating him badly was one of the worst crimes ever. With all his rage, the musclehead threw a massive uppercut at the giant. The force of that hit was so wild that even the other clan members felt it shake their bones. With ketchup all over his hand, the redhead declared that their sentence was death. No questions asked. Behind them, Kim thought that the fifth elder had really outdone himself this time. He thought that if he played his cards right he could totally take over Murim, and it was not even a long shot. The leader of the attack said that they picked the dumbest way to handle this mess. With a creepy grin, he told the enemies to watch as their choices led to their own downfall. Our protagonist, holding something in his hand, wonders why the old man talks so much, and asks him to chill for a second. In the end, the gunslinger isn't looking for a fight everywhere, but he doesn't let anyone who wants a fight walk away. Both leaders lock eyes, ready to throw down. With the final order to wipe everyone out, the battle is about to kick off. Hearing the boss's command, both elders suddenly look way more serious. The redhead bolts forward, shouting that he's been waiting for this moment. Our protagonist realizes he's actually useful in situations like this. But looking at the hefty guy, he thinks maybe he's more useless than he thought. Striking a pose, the elder crashes to the ground, flexing all his muscles. With a wild grin, he says he's been holding back forever, and tells them to come at him. The cult members charge toward the fortress, but the redhead dodges the first attack like it's nothing. The second one is just a joke to him. Seizing the third chance, he lunges and lands a brutal punch right to the attacker's ribs. The other two attack, but it's like throwing marshmallows at a brick wall. With a quick move, the fifth elder easily takes down both of them, but then he realizes he's left a gap in his defense. Behind him, one of the attackers rushes in, thinking he can take him out. The sound of something slicing through the air echoes, but the fifth elder stands tall, seemingly hit. The disciple brags that the sword was a gift from his dad, but the elder just laughs, grabbing the blade with his bare hand. With a flick, he snaps the weapon that meant so much to the guy. Then he grabs the attacker by the neck. The disciple gasps as the redhead lifts him up effortlessly. He slams him to the ground, smashing his head against the floor. With a grin, the redhead says, "These skills are just ridiculous." Feeling a presence behind him, the elder gets ready for another attack, but surprise, it's his brother watching his back. Another disciple charges in, questioning if the elder can handle it. His face twists as he realizes something wild. The hefty one, in a serious tone, reminds him he can't have any scars on his body. Getting ready to punch, he tells the disciple to think about his dumb choices in hell. Soon the disciple feels the punch land on his face, but is shocked by how soft it is. Confused, the elder asks what he's staring at, and if he wants more punches, confirming that the hefty one can't hit hard at all. Our protagonist watches, feeling disgusted by the chubby guy who looks like a pig. Then two people come up to attack him. They think the young man is dumb for turning his back, and that he must use tricks to win. As they move in, they say they'll be happy to take him out, but in a flash the one in front just vanishes. Our protagonist pops up behind him, saying he's looking the wrong way. The disciple tries to plead for mercy, but his neck is already twisted beyond repair. His buddy, in shock, watches in silence. Coming back to reality, he tries to say something about the protagonist, calling him a jerk, but Kim cuts him off, tossing ketchup into the air. With that simple move, the top of his head is no longer where it should be. Then in a cold tone, Kim glances to the side. Seeing others rushing toward him, he says this is getting boring. Annoyed, he thinks they're totally underestimating him, thinking he's an easy target. Kim, with insane agility, leaps at the attackers, finishing them off with pinpoint strikes to their weak spots. He moves so fast that all you see is his shadow flying through the air. One of the disciples spots a creepy figure creeping toward him. The attack hits so hard it slams his head into the ground. The gunslinger drops some wisdom on the attackers, saying they should know who they're up against before throwing down. We see the red-haired elder surrounded by a crowd dunking his head in ketchup. He thinks this whole mess is finally wrapping up, but out of nowhere he sees a strike coming and dodges just in time. Lucky for him, he wasn't hit. The impact was so intense it shattered the ground around him. He gets back on his feet, ready to throw down, saying this is for the sect leader. With a frown, he calls out that surprise attacks show a total lack of honor. Suddenly, the fifth elder's vision starts to blur, a purple haze messing with his head. The ghost sword cult leader laughs, thinking the poison isn't that strong. He's gearing up to attack, claiming he'll send the elder straight to the last leader of the cult. But with a fierce look, the elder charges at the attack, using his hand to block and push back the blow. The energies clash, creating a massive shockwave that sends warriors flying. Our redhead realizes the poison is messing with his internal arts. Kim watches the chaos, stressing about where his weapon is when it's most needed. Then he spots something running toward him. His little pup, Mongo, bringing his weapon back, and he can't help but cheer for the little hero. The young gunslinger knows winning without a weapon is tough. With only a few bullets left, he has to be smart, but he can't let this threat stick around. Looking up, he sees something weird coming his way. The fifth elder drops to his knees as the leader of the other sect boasts that the prestigious Blood of Death cult will finally dissolve, taking full control of the new cult, but he doesn't see the chains wrapping around him. Suddenly, two figures attack, wrapping steel around his neck. The third elder drops from the sky like a wild beast. The ghost sword cult leader begs for mercy, but his halves are split by a single strike of the short blade. The third elder says she wanted to show respect, but the vibe was off. It's their first meeting, and she introduces herself as Jinhuan, captain of the Bloodsteel group. Our protagonist watches her with a cold stare, realizing she's odd, but might be more useful than the other elders. Pulling out her dagger, she's curious about the cult leader's skills. Her image blurs with speed, and she zips in front of the protagonist like lightning, eager to see the one who took down the former leader. Kim is caught off guard by her energy. The cut comes in fast. She thought she'd just scare him, but his quick reaction makes her think he didn't win by luck. Gripping her dagger tighter, she decides to go for him again. As if reading her mind, the protagonist warns he won't hold back on a second attack. The elder realizes he's holding the infamous weapon she's heard so much about. She thinks it's no big deal and decides to check it out, but suddenly stops, feeling a weird vibe coming from him. It's like the universe is telling her, her next move could be her last. In front of her, that guy looks like the biggest demon ever. Even the bald eagle elder feels the weight of the moment. The elder quickly pulls herself together and says, "The strongest must lead the cult, so this test is necessary." Joining her hands, she asks for forgiveness for how she came off. Our protagonist stays quiet, thinking the elder is just a bit off. In the distance we see the giant with his fallen axe, but he's still breathing. Clenching his fist, he wonders if he really passed out for a second, acknowledging the strength of the one who knocked him out. With icy eyes, Kim glances to the side, when he hears someone call him a bastard. It's the giant grinning confidently, claiming his leader will easily wipe them out and torture them to death. Looking down, he sees the one who was supposed to protect him lying there. Remembering the warning he got about this being a bad idea, he runs into the spirit of the former leader, who shakes his head in disapproval. Night falls and our protagonist insists he managed to sort things out. But what's coming next is still a mystery, and there are bound to be plenty of wild moments in the quest to conquer Murim. In this world there are folks who can send you flying with a punch, and even split the ground with a sword. If these legends keep popping up, he's next on the chopping block. Kim pets his adorable puppy, staying quiet. He then strolls into another room, calling out for the bald elder. With a forced grin, the elder asks what's going on with the leader. Kim wants to know where he can score intel on enemies and possible allies. Realizing the question is serious, the elder starts brainstorming, suggesting a visit to the Howl clan, which only confuses Kim further and sharpens his curiosity. This crew is made up of lower-ass folks like doormen and restaurant managers, who can gather info from anywhere and sell it for the right price. Kim gets the idea and asks where to find them. The elder hesitates to let him go alone, but Kim insists he needs to hear the scoop firsthand so he can judge things himself. The elder agrees and decides to pick someone to go with him. Kim's fine with it but tells the bald elder not to include the third elder. That leaves the bald dude puzzled, since she's the one who knows the outside world best. The redhead suddenly appears next to them, and Kim says she's totally off her rocker anyway. Soon after, the fifth elder steps up and offers to lead him to the Howl clan. The gunslinger is caught off guard and punches him in the ribs. The giant collapses, drooling from the hit, and Kim warns him not to bring that brood with them. A bit later, a lit street comes into view with a carriage waiting. Inside, Kim and the fifth elder are already on the move. Kim is sure he asked for that idiot not to be included, and he wonders why Jen is wearing those clothes. Back in the elders' meeting, the first elder announces that the leader needs an escort to the Howl clan. The third and fifth elders immediately volunteer, while the elder, looking depressed, wonders why it had to be those two. The girl says it's only natural for her to go since she knows the outside world better than anyone. The redhead argues back, saying he should accompany the leader because he's basically glued to him anyway. Confused, Jen points out this makes zero sense, since the redhead has never had the guts to visit the Howl clan. That only makes the muscular redhead even angrier. They start bickering, both wanting to follow the protagonist. The elder watches the chaos unfold, completely lost. Kim thinks about how he'll deal with that bald elder next time he sees him. Then the coachman speaks up saying it's getting late and they should stay there for the night. The street is buzzing. Someone greets the gunslinger asking how they can help. The redhead says they need a few rooms, plus food and drinks. The host happily agrees, promising to bring everything and asking them to sit down. Suddenly, the door gets kicked open like someone's trying out for a wrestling match. A guy from the Kunlun clan walks in, drunk and looking for a drink and a room. He demands they give him a place to sleep, even if they need to throw someone else out. The innkeeper says the last rooms were taken by the newcomers. The drunk disciple, not recognizing the owner, tells him to get lost and find another room. Then he spots something interesting. The stunning third elder, with a nasty smirk, he asks where she came from, and proudly introduces himself as a disciple of the first generation of the great Kunlun clan. He says she shouldn't be hanging around low-class people and suggests she spend the night with someone as ugly as him. The fifth elder is annoyed and thinks the young man should stand up to that jerk, but he remembers their argument got interrupted by a tea master earlier. The other elder mentions they should escort the cult leader without causing a scene. Shaking with anger, the fifth elder warns he'll find another place if this keeps up. The arrogant disciple mockingly asks why they're so riled up, but a sudden kick lands straight in his groin, knocking him off balance. The protagonist stands over him, acting superior. With a twisted expression, the disciple shouts about how dare he do that and vows he won't hold back. A swift kick to the chin sends him flying, along with the ketchup he was about to eat. The protagonist kicks like a soccer star scoring a goal. In a serious tone, he tells the disciple to call his buddies. He'll be waiting. Then he shouts, asking when the food will be ready because he's starving. The redhead panics, realizing they're in trouble. Staying silent and tense, the third elder watches, thinking she couldn't stop the situation. The arrogant disciple's companions rush in with weapons drawn, but the woman calmly flicks a knife at them. It slams into one disciple's chest. The other yells about the knife stuck in him and calls her a coward. Before he finishes, a kick smashes into his head. The third elder drops down smoothly, supporting herself with one hand before sending another kick straight into his collarbone. His head wobbles like a bobblehead. Gracefully standing back up, she calls out to her crew hiding in the shadows. Two figures appear instantly, almost like magic. They ask if the captain called them. She says they've got work to do. She made sure they didn't kill the guys, so they need to hit them with a hallucination drug to wipe their memories, and dump them in a bar with some ladies of the night. After that she'll give new orders. With a serious tone she says she needs to talk to the cult leader. The protagonist wonders if she's about to go after him again. The three sit at the table under a bright light. The woman asks if the leader knows who those men were. He says no. She explains they're disciples from the Kunlun clan, part of the Murim alliance, the same group that messed with them before. If word spreads, that nightmare could start again, and she refuses to lose her cult, which she now sees as a family. Kim stays quiet and drifts into a memory of his own family, a photo of his younger self in a rundown orphanage, living through rough days. The woman says they must avoid the Murim alliance at all costs. Serious as ever, the protagonist promises to keep that in mind, no matter what. The fifth elder is surprised since it's rare for the cult leader to agree so easily. The protagonist then asks if the Howl clan is connected to the Howl alliance. She says no. Noticing he looks tired, she repeats that they must be cautious, and assigns the fifth elder to protect him. The redhead asks where she's going. She replies that she'll make sure no evidence of what happened tonight leaks out. She leaves, wishing him a safe trip back. A bit later, the elder calls for the leader. They've arrived. The protagonist jokes that they took forever. He steps into the meeting spot for the Howl clan. An old man with lined features asks how he can help. The protagonist mentions the secret key. Hearing that, the old man sells some special booze, pulls a hidden lever, and invites them to follow him. They head down the stairs, calm and collected. Inside, the doors open to reveal the host of the Howl clan, the provincial manager. He thinks the Mongol clan is weird, once prestigious but now a mess, so he figures there's no point being friendly. With a cocky tone, he asks why they're there. The fifth elder notices the arrogance and feels the guy looking down on them. The protagonist ignores the attitude and looks confused. With a grin, the manager notes he's being ignored and claims he's a master at handling people like this. He mocks them, asking if something about his vibe is off. The fifth elder gets even more irritated, sensing the manager wants him gone, but the protagonist just smiles and bursts into laughter. The manager laughs too, thinking the protagonist is enjoying the joke. Both of them begin cracking up in a way that borders on unsettling, but the manager's smile quickly fades as he expresses that he's done with this nonsense and wants out. The protagonist turns to his ally and asks whether the clan truly has no ties to the Murim alliance. Receiving confirmation, he points at the arrogant man in front of him, and instructs the fifth elder to act. Getting the signal, the redhead steps forward and unleashes a tiger punch straight into the arrogant man's face. The strike is so powerful it sends the manager crashing through several doors and deep into the underground. The protagonist approaches, stating that the gunslinger isn't foolish for laughing with him. A cult leader showed up personally, and the man should show proper respect. He turns toward the old man, assuming he is the real boss. The redhead initially thinks Kim acted out of emotion, but then realizes Kim had mistaken the old man for the actual manager. Startled, the elder calls out for the injured man, who indeed turns out to be the true manager. The fifth elder looks even more confused, pulling a strange expression. The protagonist recognizes his mistake and gives a light chuckle, proudly showcasing his wild imagination. In the distance, a masked man observes the scene. Using a strange technique, he fades away like mist. On a nearby rooftop, another figure asks where the leader of the Mongu clan is at the moment. The disciple answers that the leader is chilling at the Howl clan in Branch province with the fifth elder, but also mentions an incident they had with some disciples from the Kunlun clan along the way. Some important figure grows fired up, expressing that this offense cannot go unpunished. He sends a message to the protagonist's clan, hinting at a slow and painful confrontation ahead. Biting his lip in rage, the establishment owner fumes over their audacity and vows never to let this slight go. The protagonist steps in, expressing that the man should calm down and sit for a proper conversation. The kneeling man insists his pathetic existence isn't worth considering, but the protagonist warns that he should sit if he doesn't want things to turn ugly. Soon after, the manager, now looking fresh and collected, asks what brings a cult leader to such a shabby place. The protagonist explains that he wants information about the sect aligned with the Murim alliance. The manager nods, acknowledging he came to the right person, and asks if there is anything else he needs. The protagonist then inquires whether there are any groups capable of boosting their strength. The man raises an eyebrow, asking if he's planning to start a war. In a serious tone, the protagonist implies the answer is obvious, and the manager responds with a simple expression of understanding. The manager announces that this information is valuable and suggests a price of at least $2,000 in cash. He admits it's expensive, but he believes it'll keep the troublemakers satisfied. Kim then decides to drop some wisdom on his ally, that everything becomes meaningless when death is on the line. The redhead immediately understands. The manager, bewildered, asks what they're planning and offers to lower the price. The elder warns the manager that he should prepare for misery and the loss of a body part. Kim praises him for catching on quickly. Nervous and sweating, the manager protests that he can't just hand the information over for nothing. The protagonist replies that no one mentioned anything about it being free, they'll make a trade. The manager, relieved, asks what he'll receive. Rubbing his hands together, the protagonist comments that the man looks like a kid waiting for a Christmas present. So the gunslinger will act as a generous Santa and let the young man keep his life in exchange for the intel. The man, overwhelmed and tearing up, wonders who Santa Claus is and what Christmas even means. Since they've now agreed on the exchange, the protagonist urges him to provide the information immediately. The man, thinking Kim is worse than a demon, promises to send the documents concerning the Murim alliance. But if he also needs data about groups that could benefit the Mungu clan, he'll require more time to track them down. The protagonist asks how long. The man estimates 30 days, but the gunslinger cuts it down to 1 week. Kim gives him just enough time to produce results. But then the man asks if he may at least provide some details about the Kunlun clan. He explains that the sect is part of the Taoist alliance and resides on top of a massive snowy mountain. Reaching it is no small task. As a highly secluded group, not much is known. They joined the 9 great sects because they're a small but elite powerhouse. After the war against the blood cult, all their disciples were suddenly sent down the mountain for unknown reasons. The boy considers that as a small elite force, they likely eliminated anyone who disrespected them. Perhaps the higher-ups simply lost interest in weaker disciples. The informant nods, agreeing that this seems to be the case. The protagonist wonders if this is a blessing or a curse. He orders the informant to send the rest of the intel directly to the Mungu clan. But before leaving, he asks what their relationship is now. The informant quickly responds that they're merely business partners, which stings the protagonist. He remarks that where he comes from, 2 people who throw down become friends. Gripping the man's shoulder tightly, he asks again what their relationship is. Tension spreads through the room. The man feels like he's being hit from behind while his friend watches helplessly, and finally answers that they are allies. The protagonist turns away and states that now that they're friends, the man must understand he is expected to sacrifice his life for him and continue living on his behalf. The informant stiffens, realizing he has made a deal with the devil, but the protagonist assures him in a relaxed tone that he'll be looked after because they're practically brothers now. The carriage is then shown rolling back toward the clan. Our protagonist asks whether the third elder is still in the district. The answer is most likely yes, since she usually ghosts everyone with her messages. Suddenly something zips past them, startling the horses and making them neigh as if they had seen a ghost. The redhead yells, demanding to know what's happening, but it turns out to be a member of the third elder's squad. Apologizing frantically, he explains that they had to block the street because of an emergency and that he must hurry back to the Mungu clan for his own safety. Our protagonist picks up on what vice leader Yan Nanok of the Blood Chain team mentioned, and when he arrives at the cult, he asks who those people are. The letter states that the Black Blood sect is about to show up, so everyone should prepare for a confrontation. The bald elder asks if he has already explained this sect, but the protagonist tells him to keep his explanation brief and hand over the details. This crew is surrounded by rumors and infamous for being a ruthless organization. They make money through high-risk hits and have no hesitation in carrying out brutal acts, regardless of age, gender, or beliefs, as long as the payment is right. After the rundown, Kim falls deep into thought, likely plotting his next move. The bald man adds that since this sect doesn't play by the rules, they likely sent the letter with plans to attack later, but insists he has something prepared. That night, the guards spot someone creeping toward the grounds. One of them raises his spear, issuing a firm warning to stop or face consequences. The figure moves slowly, receiving another warning not to advance. The elder had commanded the disciples to strike on sight if anyone suspicious approached, and that's exactly what the disciple does, quick as lightning. But behind him, the newcomer seems ready to cause chaos. The intruder stumbles upon fallen bodies and, sensing another presence, glances to the side, only to see arrows flying toward him. The arrows strike the ground as the attacker vanishes instantly. The disciple who fired looks up and spots the figure moments before the man tosses an object resembling a smoke bomb. Vision clouded, the disciple reports losing sight of the target and guesses which direction he ran. Word quickly spreads that an intruder has breached the area, alerting both the fifth and third elders, who immediately sense trouble. A killer swaggers through the front door without fear. The person lounging on the throne gives off a threatening air. The doors then creak open slowly. He expresses disappointment, noting that he expected an entire sect, but only received one person. The leader claims he will first hear what the man has to say, though it's actually the fourth elder in disguise, asking what business brought him there. The assassin turns his head, looking curious and confused. He soon begins fiddling with the man's cloak, as if checking for something valuable. Meanwhile, behind him, the protagonist appears and reminds him that an assassin should never lower his guard. To demonstrate, he fires without hesitation, expressing that mercy is something reserved for the weak in the face of enemies. The elders rush in, calling out to the cult leader and asking if he's unharmed. The first elder laughs, expressing satisfaction that everything unfolded exactly as he predicted, boasting about his brilliance and claiming there would have been problems if the leader hadn't been eliminated. The others comment on the boldness of the move. Suddenly, the third elder glances to the side and notices something unusual. As she approaches the body, she mentions spotting something, but the first elder warns her about the possibility of poison. She responds that it doesn't look like a poison vial, more like a message. Inside the letter, the leader of the Black Blood sect, Cheon Beck, introduces himself and expresses respect for the new cult leader. Enclosed is a fancy necklace symbolizing trust between their sects. Realizing the disaster, the elder yanks the necklace from her neck in panic. Confusion and shock fill the room as the elders and the protagonist freeze. The first elder's expression shifts into pure despair, revealing how massive their mistake truly is. Silence hangs heavily as everyone understands the gravity of the situation. The protagonist, pale and shaken, turns to the culprit and states that this fiasco is entirely the bald elder's doing. The panicked elder begs for his master to calm down and at least hear him out. He argues that the intruder caused chaos and beat down some disciples, so their retaliation was justified. Unexpectedly, the guards who appeared unconscious earlier sit up asking if everything is all right, laughing because they are perfectly fine. The elder stiffens, realizing the intruder didn't kill anyone, which only worsens the situation. A meeting begins, and the second elder warns that if news of this spreads, the Murdam Alliance will learn of their schemes, potentially ruining their long-term plans for domination. The third elder adds that they must own up to their mistake and visit the Black Blood sect to offer an apology. The redhead slams his fist on the table in fury, questioning why they should bow to some random sect. A heated debate erupts as everyone throws in their opinions. The bald elder timidly raises his hand, eager to share an idea sparked by the chaos. The protagonist grants him permission but warns him to be prepared for whatever follows. The elder goes pale, sensing danger radiating from the protagonist's weapon. As the protagonist glares, he pauses to think, and then lifts his weapon, claiming that this solution will work. The bald elder, confused, asks what he means. With a sly grin, the protagonist chuckles and expresses his intention to take all the blame. The elder bursts out, questioning how such a thing could even be possible. The protagonist simply shrugs and expresses that it isn't really his concern. The elder just needs to beg and do whatever it takes to resolve the problem. Stunned into silence, the bald elder prepares to face his fate. Upon arriving at the enemy's base, all he can think about is cursing the protagonist. His two companions mention that they've reached their destination, a massive and extravagant mansion. A disciple watches from above, signaling like part of a secret code. The doors open, welcoming the elder into what is clearly going to be pure chaos. Inside, he notices that everyone is wearing masks, adding to the unsettling atmosphere. One masked figure informs him that their master is in the room ahead. The bearded elder checks out the line of people waiting for the leader. When he enters, the leader greets him warmly, expressing that he wrote the letter recently and didn't expect such a quick visit. He introduces himself as the head of the Black Blood cult and explains that he prepared thoroughly for this meeting. Hoping to ease tensions, he recommends that the elder relax with some food after his long journey. Later, the bald man laughs awkwardly, expressing how caught off guard he feels, mentioning issues involving his own boss. Just thinking about his leader makes his face burn with frustration, while his companion urges him to relax since he's already tipsy. The bearded man snaps back, expressing that the kid shouldn't meddle in grown-up matters. Before long, the cult leader asks why the messenger hasn't returned yet. Under pressure, the elder admits there was an accident on the bridge leading to the Mongu clan, and despite their efforts, they couldn't save him. Swallowing hard, he explains that the unfortunate result was the death of his prized disciple. The masked leader remains silent, showing no sadness at all. The elder clenches his fists, terrified by the unreadable reaction. Suddenly, the cult leader leaps and expresses that there's no need for apologies, since the messenger was only one man. Emboldened, the bald elder agrees, assuming this kindness will last. The leader stands and asks whether the necklace he sent ended up on the master's neck. Grinning, the bald man confirms that it did and expresses that the master appreciated the gift. Looking out the window, the cult leader removes his mask to reveal a wicked smile. He expresses that it's better for his messenger to be dead anyway, but that he would have liked to meet the Mongu master to personally apologize for what is about to happen. Confused, the elder feels his tension ease slightly, and asks what the cult leader means. With a smirk, the cult leader explains that they now stand on equal ground, noting that his precious subordinate is dead. He adds that the cult has effectively lost its powerful master, leaving the bald elder even more baffled. He then reveals that the necklace contained a poisonous candle, odorless and colorless. If someone shares a room with it for too long, the poison slowly seeps into their body, paralyzing them within a day, and eventually leading to death for anyone who can't move. Realizing the severity of the situation, the elder grows tense, knowing the necklace is currently with his master. Shouting in fury, he demands to know how such a twisted act could be done, but the leader calmly expresses that he did nothing wrong, adding that if the old man is mad, he can simply die. Trying to stay composed, the elder remarks that dwelling on the past will only bring unnecessary wounds. He considers leaving, but the leader states firmly that he can't allow him to walk out alive, since the elder might expose everything at any moment. Panicking, the elder screams that they killed his superior, who deserved it, insisting that for that reason, he's fully on their side. He shouts in desperation, wondering why his bodyguards are standing there uselessly. Looking at the man supposed to guard him, he calls him an idiot for being even more frightened than the cult leader. Suddenly the scene flashes back to the past, where the elder begs the protagonist for mercy, convinced that if he goes, he's doomed. But our main guy casually reassures him, leaving the old man even more confused. He promises to send the best bodyguard he can, because the plan is next level risky. Back in the present, the elder questions why he was saddled with such a useless guard, claiming he's doomed for sure. Desperately, he shouts for his impending doom to chill out. As the blade inches closer, someone suddenly bursts into laughter, finding the whole situation hilarious. It's the other bodyguard, who states with confidence that nothing has changed. He remembers the glory of his past, and as he removes the mask, he reveals his true face, sharing wisdom he claims to have learned from the ladies. His shift in presence brings hope to the bald elder, who grows even more shocked. The cult leader is stunned, demanding to know how this newcomer even arrived here. The newcomer walks up calmly, and asks why the leader never spends that cash, giving the simple answer by pointing a gun at him. He then expresses that no one hands out pricey gifts without wanting something in return. Before all this chaos, we see the second elder knocking on the master's door, and the protagonist lets him in. He rubs his hands together and asks to inspect the strange necklace Kim received earlier. Our main guy agrees, though he doesn't understand why it matters, warning him to be careful since his little dog has been playing with it. When the second elder examines the necklace, he confirms his suspicion. Inside the ornament, there is an extremely poisonous candle. The protagonist goes pale, realizing it was never a friendly gift. The second elder affirms that the first elder's suspicions were correct. Panicked, our main guy jumps up, worrying if his dog was poisoned, but the long-haired elder reassures him, explaining the pup wasn't exposed long enough. It may take time to recover, since they don't know what poison was used. Understanding the stakes, our main guy declares his intent to take out everyone who dared to deceive him, but the second elder warns him, noticing he's not thinking straight, and urges him not to lose control. Given the danger, the second elder suggests a plan. Back where the bald elder is, he screams with relief, realizing the protagonist is still alive, proudly claiming he's safe. But Kim, with a look of disgust, orders him to get out immediately, making him tremble. The assassin laughs coldly, boasting that he never expected such a simple poison to kill him, but says the elder will soon regret being here. With a wicked grin, he claims the elder will wish for death even sooner, because of the poison. Our main guy, pumped with adrenaline, tells him he's being ridiculous, since there's no reason for excitement, then mentions that what he's holding could end the assassin at any moment. The ninja, having never seen a weapon like that, thinks he won't even get the chance to use it. He declares that many have witnessed his secret technique, but none survived. The pressure in the room intensifies, making the water in the basins tremble. He prepares his final move, a technique of the Black Blood sect known as constant rain. He gets ready to finish the fight instantly, but in a split second, a bullet pierces the center of his forehead, killing him at once. Confusion freezes on his face as his body falls backward. Our main guy states confidently that his own secret technique is just as lethal, saying many have seen it, but none live to spread the tale. He adds that this is a bond they share, and he doesn't feel bad about it. Quickly, he senses movement near the entrance. Soon he spots several figures rushing in, all armed with knives, ready to avenge their leader. Already accustomed to chaos, he warns them that anyone craving a painful end should stay close to his weapon. They charge at him, and one by one, they are taken down by gunfire. To conserve bullets, he draws a blade, making ketchup-like sprays with every swift cut. A natural in combat, he blocks attacks while landing precise shots, exploiting openings, and carving his way through the swarm. He moves like a serpent, striking vital points with both gun and blade. Hearing the violent noises in the room, the bald elder imagines the protagonist must be an absolute monster in martial arts.